Max, every week on Thursday, we don't like to bother coaches during game weeks, but we love to bother coaches when it's not game week.
Right.
In fact, bothering coaches is our favorite thing to do.
Sure.
And so, why not bother the head coach, one of the winningest head coaches in Texas high school football history, and one of the coaches of the hottest teams in Texas?
It's true.
We are joined by the head coach of the Duncanville Panthers. It's Coach Reginald Samples. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
How are you spending your bye week? You don't have an opportunity to win again this week. So what are you guys doing instead?
Well, we're really focusing on our grades. You know, we got a grading report period coming up. And so we're trying to get the kiddos in tutoring to get those averages up. We've had some little dink and dunk injuries. We're trying to get well and trying to get everybody healthy for this stretch run. We don't have any more opportunities to have a break, so we're trying to take advantage of it.
You guys are off to a very hot start and three I would say emphatic wins against quality opponents. We knew that your squad had a chance to be pretty good this year. What have you learned about your team over these first 3 weeks?
Well, I just learned that they're really dedicated to what we're trying to coach them on, and they're really doing a great job of listening to the coaching staff, and they're doing what they've been asked to do, and that's really helped us because they're young, so they don't have a lot of experience in 6A football.
No, they don't, and you're exactly right. You do have a number of youngsters that have stepped up, and you're a guy, I don't mean to date you, but you've been around the block a couple of times in this coaching game. When you look, when you're looking for young stars to step up, is there one or two things in particular that you're looking for that you can say, I think this kid's going to be special?
Yeah, well, one of the big things is you look for that attitude. A lot of times when they get into the varsity football, they're a little wide-eyed when things get a little tough and, the hitting gets up on a high level. But every once in a while you get a kid that when it really gets tough, they really step up to the plate and they'll verbalize some things that let you know that they have that toughness that you're looking for.
We're talking with Reginald Samples, the head coach of the Duncanville Panthers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. Coach, you so far so good. 3-0. You can't ask for a whole lot more in the win column. But I know how you're wired, and I know that you're looking for things to improve. You're looking for things to get better at. Is there one or two things in particular that you say we need to get better at that if we're going to make the kind of run that we want to?
Oh, without a doubt. We've got to be more consistent in our passing game. I was looking today, we're one of the top offenses as far as just yardage in the area, but it's real run heavy. And if you look at our numbers, we're just not attempting a lot of passes, and we hadn't had to. You do whatever is successful, but, when you get against those quality teams, you're going to have to be balanced. And that's one of the things we're trying to preach to our kids right now is that we've got to do a better job in the passing game.
One of the guys who's really buoyed your offense so far, you mentioned the running game, Keelan Elder, the running back, has been really impressive. 537 yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground, averaging more than 11 yards a carry. You mentioned to us in the offseason that this kid's a dynamic running back. As the guy who gets to see him every day in practice, what can you tell us about this young man?
Well, he just overwhelms you with his work ethic. All summer long, his dad coaches a little league team in the area. And, there are times when, you're cruising around looking at the young talent in your neighborhood. And, I'll pull up to the practice field where his dad's coaching. And, before I can take a look at the young kids that are on the team, he's out there on another field working out, pulling sleds and running wind sprints, and this is after our morning workout. You just don't see it. You don't see a lot of kids that have that work ethic, and when you see that, he's going to be good.
let's talk a little bit about the defensive side. You guys have really shut down your opponents so far this year. Just 31 points allowed in 3 games. I will say, and I want to talk about your district a little bit later, but the road's going to get steeper. You're going to play tougher competition down the road. What's the key for you guys defensively to keep up what you guys have been doing?
It's been our experience. If you look at our returning guys, we only had 2 guys coming back on offense. On defense, we had 6 or 7 guys that had played 8 or 9 ball games, and it makes it easy when you have those guys that have been through the trenches, they've been through the tough games, they know what it's about, and that's the side of the ball that we have our experience.
You guys are you're in your bye week, about to head into district play, and I don't need to tell you that your district is pretty solid. You're going to have a number. You're going to have a number of quality squads out there, including the defending state champs DeSoto, Cedar Hill, South Grand Prairie, a number of. As a coach in the thick of it, when you take a look at District 7-6A, what are you seeing?
Well, a lot of people, when I came to Duncanville, they looked at me like, really, you want to take part in that? And, I've always felt like, the tougher the competition, it really makes you look at and evaluate your squad, and it actually gets you ready for the playoffs. Without a doubt, we play in one of the toughest districts in the state, and when you go up against DeSoto and Cedar Hills, you know that, they're going to get you ready for what you're going to face in the playoffs. And that's what it's all about. I want to win playoff games.
We're talking with Reginald Samples, the head coach of the Duncanville Panthers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Coach, you're in your 3rd season there at Duncanville after coaching over at Dallas Skyline, which for a decade, which, by the way, you didn't treat them. I figured you would have maybe brother-in-lawed them last week, as your old team. You didn't treat them too nice.
Well, it comes, it's that old, it's them or us. And, at the end of the day, I'd rather for it to be them than me.
Yeah. Now, I do want to ask you about the changes that you've seen in Duncanville. How do you think this program has changed since you took over there 3 years ago?
Well, I just think the biggest thing is that, you start with working hard and try to develop a winning attitude and confidence in what you're trying to do. And it really helped us last year to break through and win a few playoff games. You can say what you want as a coach, but it's not a lot that you can teach from losing. And it really helped us last year to go to the 4th round and to experience the game against Allen, even though we didn't do as well as we thought. But it helped us going forward, and now the kids are excited. They really believe that we belong.
Well, and you certainly do belong. I mean, right now, the arrow is definitely trending upward, and now I want to embarrass you a little bit because as folks may not know, you recently moved up in the all-time coaching wins list. You're now at 247, tied with Bobby Davis from Wolford Friendship, and tied for 31st overall. And I know one of the guys that you passed just last week, Alan Wilson at Dallas Carter. Is you guys there being 2 kind of DISD guys that's got to be pretty special for you. What does it mean for you to be able to move up this list of really coaching legends in this state?
Well, it's always you always feel good when you're recognized for something positive. Mm-hmm. And it was honestly, I didn't even know about it. My wide receiver coach one day walked up to me and said, "Hey, do you know you're about to pass Alan Wilson in overall coaching wins?" And I don't keep up with it. But at the end of the day, it's a great honor. Alan is a good friend of mine. He stopped by and talked with me about football a lot, and I have a great respect for him and everybody else on the list. So I'm excited, but at the end of the day, we still got games to play, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here for this team this year, so I'm trying to stay focused.
Now, you're friends with him. When you did find out, did you rib him a little bit?
No, Alan and I, we're not there. He's all business. I didn't bother him. He actually told me that he was coming to the game. I didn't get a chance to talk with him. It was kind of little madhouse down there on the sideline. So I didn't get to visit with him, but I'm sure in the next few days or weeks, sometimes I'll look up and he'll just show up. And I'm looking forward to him any day showing up. He's a great guy.
He is Reginald Samples. He is the head coach of the 3-0 Duncanville Panthers. Coach, I really appreciate your time. Congratulations on your success this season. Enjoy your bye week just a little bit, and then go get them next week.
Thank you guys for having me, and have a great day.
You too. There he goes, Reginald Samples, the head coach of the Duncanville Panthers. Good guy. Matt Stepp pointed this out to me yesterday. Many people don't know this. The pride of Gilmer.
Yeah.
Born in Gilmer, but I know he moved to the Metroplex in grade school, and so I didn't want to ask him and be like, oh, what do you think of Gilmer and Carthage? Because he might be like, I don't really know whatever with them.
You know.
So, but great coach, the all-time winningest African-American coach in Texas high school football history, and he's about to, the next win, he'll pass Bobby Davis, who is and crack the top 30 all-time. And this is this is a guy who is just consistently, right now his record stands at 247, 81, and 2. That's
pretty
insane.
Good. Yeah.
And I know he had some great talent at Skyline. I know he's got some great talent. He had some great talent at Lincoln before
too,
that.
yeah.
I know he's got some great talent at Duncanville, but this guy is he's just one of the best coaches that Texas has ever had.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see him doing this at another program, right?
Yeah.
Because a program that we've always thought, the Morning News had a great piece that said, like, they're a sleeping giant that's sleeping no longer, right?
Yeah.
This is a school with more than 4,000 kids.
Right.
It's one of the biggest schools in the state, but they've never really, or not never, but they've not as frequently as you'd think, had the kind of success that these mega schools have.
Right.
Now they're 3-0. The road gets tougher, but at the same time, they're looking very, very good. So we appreciate Coach Reginald Samples for hopping on with us.